Hey you guys, I thought we would do our video outdoors today, but let me say if there's any background noise or any other interference, I apologize in advance. I'm in my backyard right here at the edge of the woods. I'm next to what I call my weeping willow tree, and this is a special spot for me. It's actually a special spot for myself and a friend. And there goes my background noise I was speaking of. But just I hope maybe it just adds to the ambience of the whole video. But I just felt I needed to be outdoors to do this video because the theme that I chose for today is a rather simple theme, but I just felt the need to discuss it with you guys, and it's the do's and the don'ts of the craft. But before we start, as always, I've got an incense lit, and I'm just going to simply cleanse our space of any and all negativity. And also, I would like to use this incense as an offering of sorts, an offering to the goddess and an offering to the weeping willow tree, because I come here all the time. And just like I told someone just yesterday, I come here to meditate, I come here to practice spell work, I come here to cry, to cleanse. I come here just to come here because this is my special spot. And when I leave this spot, I always leave it with something. I always take something with me when I leave it, whether it's some wisdom, clarity, sometimes just some inner peace, and sometimes just a little bit of happiness when I'm feeling down. But I always take something with me, and it could be the fact that I'm outside and I'm in nature, and as you know, nature is very cleansing, so it could be that as well. But I like to think that it has a lot to do with my special spot here beside my weeping willow. So not only are we cleansing our space with this incense, I also am using it as an offering of gratitude. And I'm going to stick it right here in the ground below weeping willow. And I'm going to start with showing you a couple of stones that I brought. I'm sure you know I brought stones, but they're both pieces of fluorite and they're new, and I've just recently started working with them. But I thought they were perfect to bring today because, as you know, fluorite absorbs negativity. Um, it's a good stone to reduce stress. It's a good stone to aid you in learning, learning spiritually, learning mentally, no matter what you're trying to learn, it's a very good stone to aid you in the process of learning. And it's also a good stone to assist you in decision making. And I thought with our theme today, the do's and the don'ts of the craft, the main thing that I wanted to touch on is learning and, growing in the craft. And I just thought the fluorite was a really good stone for that. And like I said, I have two pieces. I have this big chunk, or I say a big chunk, but it's a chunk of light green fluorite. And I know a lot of people aren't into the chunky pieces. They like something smooth or tumbled, or, in a shape or a tower or a wand. But, it just depends to me. If it calls to me, then, it just calls to me and I have to bring it home. And this chunky piece right here just called to me. And my other piece is fluorite as well, and it's a dark green fluorite. But if you hold it up to the light and look, it's got blues and it's got purples, and I like it as well. It called to me, and there's another one of those interferences. But like I said, I just thought fluorite was a good stone to bring with us while discussing this topic. And that's all I brought was my two stones because I felt that's all I needed. And I'm just gonna start by saying, the do's and the don'ts of the craft. They're different for everyone. And like I've said so many times, there's no right way and there's no wrong way to practice the craft. There's only my way and your way, and then that's our way. But there is a few things that I really am strongly against, and then there's a few things that I really feel the need to do when practicing the craft. And like I said, it varies from person to person. We all have our preferences, we all have our ideas, and our likes and our dislikes. And like I've said before in other videos, that's the beauty of this craft. There is no right way, there is no wrong way, but there are things you can do to assist you in, learning better and growing and, just being the best that you can be in the craft. And all right, look here, interference. I apologize. But I've done lost my train of thought. Kitty's done. And if you're wondering, this is Twitchy Kitty, and he tends to overdo things. But he's very, very lovable and very, very sweet, so you've got to like him. But some of the things that I believe are necessary when working in the craft is, I believe that any time you're going to do spell work or any type of work of the craft, I think you should meditate beforehand. And the reason I say that is because certain emotions that we feel and certain emotions that we have can affect the outcome of our spell work, can affect the way we do our spell work. And anything you do, whether it's spiritual, physical, no matter, if you do something and you're in a negative frame of mind, you're gonna have negative results. And if you're going for negative results, I guess then you have success. But I believe the goal in practicing spell work is to always, always try to obtain positive results. Negativity is nothing more than a low vibration. And when we surround ourselves with negative things, and when we think in a negative way, and when we work our spell work in a negative way, we're gonna get nothing but negative results. And there's no happiness to be found in negativity. And negativity is not in no way, shape, or form good for anyone. I know that we have to have a balance in our craft, and there's always a dark and a light, but that does not mean you have to accept or be of a negative mind frame. Having balance is simply, accepting the good parts and the bad parts. But that doesn't mean you have to, you know, you have to act in such a way. It doesn't mean you have to practice your craft in such a way. It just means that you need to acknowledge that everything has two parts. In order to make a whole, it takes two of anything, whether it's, light and dark, cold and hot, sweet and sour, good and bad. It doesn't matter. Everything has two parts. And that's the only way to obtain balance, is to accept it. But like I said, acceptance does not mean that you have to go out there and partake of it. It doesn't mean that you have to live your life in a negative light, or you know, you don't have to practice your craft in a negative way. You know, you just need to be aware. You need to accept that is what it is. But like I said, that doesn't mean you have to, you know, interact in a negative way. It doesn't mean you have to do your work in a negative way. It just means that, you know, be aware and accept that there's a positive and a negative of everything, and that's how you have balance. And another thing that I wanted to touch on is, you know, when working in your craft, you know, and everyone believes differently, everyone practices differently, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way. You know, you follow your heart. That's the best advice that I can give to anyone, to everyone, to follow your heart, because whatever you need, whatever your craft consists of, you know, all of that is within you. And all you simply have to do is follow your heart. And as long as you follow your heart, you're always going to find your way. And just because my way, you know, is one way, your way may be a different way. And that doesn't mean that it's wrong, or it doesn't mean that me nor you are on the wrong path, because, you know, this craft that we are learning and growing in and that we practice, you know, it's only a means to the path that we are trying to get to and be on spiritually. And you know, just because I work with a certain goddess or I choose to do spell work a certain way doesn't mean that the way you do it is wrong. And you know, that just goes back to the topic of this discussion, the do's and the don'ts. You know, yeah, there's a few little do's that we should do, and there's a few little don'ts that we shouldn't. But you know, all in all, at the end of the day, it's basically up to you. You know what you need to do, and you know what you shouldn't do. That, you know, that's right for you. That makes this craft, you know, work for you. And you know, all I can say, I really am having a hard time saying much of anything with this cat. But all I can say is, you know, march to the beat of your own drum. You know, don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid of what people may think about you or what people may say about you. You know, we're coming up on a new year, which means, you know, it's the beginning of a new year, and that means we can be rid of old habits. We can let go of things that no longer serve us. You know, this is like our fresh start. You know, this is the time of the year that we can start over, we can start fresh. And I think it's really important, you know, during this time of the year to sit down and, you know, take a hard look at yourself, at your life, you know, not just physically, not just mentally, not, you know, spiritually as well. And, you know, our spiritual life affects every other part of our life. If you are at peace and if you are happy in your spiritual life with your spiritual self, I promise you the rest of your life will fall in place and things will fall in order and you will find happiness. And, you know, back to the do's and the don'ts, you know, like I said, there's a few little things that you do need to do, and like I said, you know, meditate and cleanse. Always cleanse your space, cleanse your aura. Um, you know, follow your heart. Don't worry about what others think or say. And you know, lastly, one of the most important do's that I try to practice, and I strongly suggest that you do the same, is to listen to the goddess. You know, if she shows you something, there's usually a reason behind it. And if we can't figure out what that reason is, That's okay. She has your best interest in mind at all times. She loves you. She is like a mother with her child. She just wants to teach you. She wants to show you. She wants to love you. She wants you to grow and to be the best you that you can be. And another thing that I like to do whenever I'm getting ready to, do any spell work or speak on the craft or, you know, it doesn't matter. You can be teaching, you can be learning, you can just be having a conversation about the craft, you can be doing spell work, you can simply just be sitting there and thinking or meditating on the craft, but just always, always have gratitude and give gratitude. And a lot of us think that, giving gratitude is this big orchestrated, event that we've got to do, this big, elaborate, activity or ritual or something that we've got to do. And it's not. You can simply walk outside, just like we're sitting here today in nature. Just sit here and humble yourself and just say thank you, thank you to the goddess, thank you to the universe, thank you to the trees, to the plants, to the elements, whatever it is that you feel, that you are grateful for, just simply, express your gratitude. You can voice it, you can vocally say, thank you, or you can thank it, or you can do nothing at all. It's all what's in your heart. And if you feel gratitude in your heart, then you have gratitude. And there is no right way, there is no wrong way. So, any way you choose to express your gratitude, any way you choose to go about doing your spell work, meditating, you know, whatever your way is, you follow your heart. And I mean, I can't say it enough that, everyone says you have to do this and you shouldn't do that. And, these are the do's and the don'ts of our craft. But like I said, yeah, there's a few little things you can do that enhance your spell work, that enhance your, ability to learn your craft and to work in your craft, and that will lead you to your path. But all in all, at the end of the day, everything that you need is within you, and you should just follow your heart. And that's the best advice that I can give you. And I'm going to wrap it up because I feel like my discussion today went a little sideways, and this cat, he seems to want to harass me. So before I leave, and like I said, another interference, the barking dog, I just want to take my fluorite pieces, and I'm going to use my dark green fluorite, and I'm simply going to cleanse some negativity from your aura, and then I'm going to send you some loving and healing energy, and then I will let you guys go. But I'm going to use my dark green piece to simply clear away some of this negative energy that has attached itself to us and that's trying to linger and cloud our vision. Because that's another thing, clarity. Clarity is important. You want to be able to see what it is you need to see. You want to be able to understand, and you want to see clearly. You don't want anything clouding your vision. You don't want anyone clouding your vision. And, all in all, like I said, negativity doesn't serve anyone anything good at all. So we're going to take and clear away some of this negative energy. I wonder if maybe we could use this to clear away this cat. He's just determined that he is the star of the video today. and she's the background singer. And I do apologize, you guys. And now I'm going to place an intention of love and light. And I'm going to send you guys, again, I apologize. I'm going to send you guys some healing energy and some loving energy. And this energy is going to come from me to you. And all you have to do is be willing to accept. Open yourself up and accept. Acceptance is key in our craft as well. And if you simply accept the energy I have to send, we'll receive it. And lastly, I want to say that, energy has no time or no space. So what we do today can be received tomorrow or the next day or the next week. And as always, simply, if you believe, then you will receive. And I hope that I said something that may have resonated with someone out there. And again, I apologize for all the interferences, and I'll see you later. Bye.